Hello, it's Melinda from Alexis and Melinda's Art Space. How you all going? Long time no see, I know. Life has just been kicking my bottom lately and just been so busy. And just, yeah, this channel's on the last of my list. Doing a voiceover for this little video because the original original sound was not very good. So I've just showed you there I'm working in an altered book. So this is a car motoring book. And it's got a gorgeous insert into the first page, which I'm preserving. So this page was a demonstration at one of my shows or one of my events, and I decided to use it up. So I'm using some Collage Soup. I'm actually using, don't fall off your chair, actually using some of the Collage Soup packs that I have accumulated last year. I have stopped accumulating, except if they're the new ones that I like, and started using. So this is Lemonade Stand. So this one was sort of the third or fourth one in the pile that sort of went with the colours. So I had summary colours. So this ended up being a double page spread. On the left-hand side, there's lots of paint. The white strips I actually put tape on, like washi tape, and painted over the top, and then pulled the washi tape off and actually glued it on the other side. So that was the first demo page of the class. And then it's like, well, do I want to? I've already done a demo of the class, or I've already done an example of what the class looks like. Do I want to do the same thing again? It was like, no, let's stick some Collage Soup on it. So I did some fussy cutting off camera and showed you some of the sheets it come from. So there was one main sheet with that big lady in a bathing suit, and the one with the balloons. There was another sheet of castles, and there was some with the the sunglasses and the flowers. So I think I used 3 or 4 sheets at a Lemonade Stand, and I think it's the updated version. Often they put a pack out and then they go and do an update and add other sheets to it. So I think this could be the updated version, or the original one, not sure. But this was only a couple of dollars on the website. So just playing around with positioning, the colours sort of lent themselves to be nice and bright, summery feel. So I thought these beach ones went really well. So I like the idea of this sitting girl on the left-hand side, of sitting her on a castle. Why? Because, I don't know, I felt like it. And that's what collage is. Why do I do it? Because I feel like it. So when I fussy cut the girl out, I like the clouds behind her. So I sort of fussy cut around her and down to the green bit, but left that blue behind the balloon. And it doesn't look too out of place with the other colours in the background. So I felt that. And I also did that between the lady's hands with the big one on the right-hand side. I left a bit of blue between her arms, so you could have cut that out. So I decided to glue these pieces on with some matte medium, just because I'm gluing over gesso and over paint. Like a normal glue stick just wouldn't stick. So just using a matte medium. Matte means it dries really clear, and these are printed on like photocopy paper. So here in Australia, that's like 80 GSM paper, so it's nice and thin. It's usually what you bill if you get a bill in the mail. That's what sort of paper it's printed on. So nice and thin, able to layer up quite a few layers, but without adding too much bulk to your page. So when you're using the matte medium, you put a generous amount on the base of your page, so on the coloured paint, and then you put your image down and you put a generous amount on top. Putting it on top does 2 things. It seals the page in case you have an oopsie down the line, you can wipe stuff off it, and also helps to get the bubbles out. So when you put your matte medium on top, you're working from the middle of the image and pushing out, and that will eliminate most of the air bubbles. Sometimes you can paint matte medium on the back of the image as well, and that helps eliminate bubbles. But a few bubbles, I don't mind. This is an altered book, so this is 2 or 3 pages glued together with just a normal kid's glue stick, you know, like a Yoo-hoo or a, like the ones that look like lipsticks. So there are a few bubbles in the background anyway, and sometimes the paper picks that up, but I like working in altered books, so that does not bother me. So I'm just being careful which images I'm sticking down first, having to stick down the ones in the back. Some of the images in Collage Soup have a flat edge because they're on their side of the page, so they sort of have to be hidden underneath something else or stuck to the side of the page. So the 2 lots of glasses down the bottom had obviously about a quarter of one of the glass sides cut off, so I aligned that with the side of the page. Or I could have sort of hidden it underneath somewhere. So you want to be quite generous with your matte medium. And you don't particularly want to use gloss in your art journal because the gloss can make your pages tacky and stick together. So you sort of want to stick to one that says matte. And basically matte medium is a really thin adhesive. You could use Mod Podge again. It's a bit tacky when it dries. You could use PVA glue, a little watered down a bit, but again, a bit tacky when it dries. And it can stick your pages together. So matte medium is sort of the perfect thing to use. You can get some of it quite inexpensively in art shops or craft shops. So it is quite a thin adhesive, so it's very runny in consistency. You don't want to get it confused with like a matte gel medium that is more thicker, used for thicker papers. So now the fun bit, it's all dried off. And now you sort of have some fun connecting the pieces together. So the first way of doing that, or connecting your background to your foreground, is I like to grab a really small pen. So this is a Uniball Micron. Uniball I. Uniball is a brand. I is the, I suppose, sub-brand. And it's a micro, which is the size. It's a very good black ballpoint pen. It's waterproof, which is a bonus. And what I do is I trace around all my images. So I'm tracing around the background. I'm not tracing on the image. But it puts a little bit of a border around the image, and it sort of helps them not to be stuck on, if that makes sense. So if you do it to a couple of them and then compare one side of your page to the other side of the page, you can sort of see the difference. So it's really cool. So you can be a bit wiggly. You don't have to be exact. Especially if you've got two pieces of paper stuck on top of each other, the line or the black line between them sort of pushes one in the background and pulls one forward. So you can do that to define your layers as well, unless you want your layers to all be seamlessly together. So I didn't actually do that to the castles that are in the bottom of the page. I wanted the castles to sort of be all one piece. If I'd put the lines between the couple of pieces I used, it'd look like they're a bit disjointed. Clear as mud, right? Yep. But especially with the girl now that I'm working on, I definitely put the line around her like arm and leg to sort of distinguish her from the back pieces. So now I'm just flipping through some of my stencil books that I make for my business, or stencils I make for my business. And I want to do something in the background that's a bit of line work, a bit of stenciling, because I think it just needs something. So unfortunately I flipped through all my stencils and then decide on my favourite stencil I use quite a lot. I will have to start expanding on what stencils I use. I decided to go with that one, and then I'm thinking about it. I sort of wanted to keep it geometric in shape just because I've got the lines that are geometric in the background. So it was, a hard decision. I was so indecisive. So I decided on my favourite stencil. This one is sort of geometric, but it also has a bit of softness to it and stuff as well. So what I wanted to do is put the stenciling into the background. So on the top right hand side, where I've got those strips of washi tape behind my image, I made the stenciling start and stop between the washi tape. So it looks like the lady is in the foreground, the collage images are like in the foreground, the stenciling is in the middle ground, and then we've got the paint in the background, if that makes sense. So I love drawing through stencils to do some doodling on my pages. A, it gives you the shapes to start with and you don't have to start from scratch, which is ideal. And B, if you don't know what you do, the stencil just is there and you can follow along. So this one is a repeating stencil, so you can quickly move it around your page to sort of connect and do big areas. So I decided to put sort of 3 areas on the page. I start by drawing just an outline and decide whether that is enough or whether I'm going to go and colour it in to be solid. So if you start off doing it solid and then you decide you just want an outline, you're sort of doing it backwards. So start with an outline and then you can decide if you want to make it solid. I apologise for my head getting in the way. But anyone that's new to my channel, I do have a bit of low vision, so sometimes when I'm doing quite intricate stuff, my head needs to be quite close to my book, and I have not found a great way to film overhead without getting my head stuck in for a few seconds. Still, I'll try to work on that, but yeah, filming videos is fun, especially when I'm trying to do close work. So a lot of this close work I'll show you a little bit, and I'll go off camera and just do it. And tracing around this stencil and colouring it in is quite relaxing and quite what they call cathartic, quite mindfulness. There goes the glasses off, trying to do the glasses off on, seeing which one's better. So I put the glasses back on. I do wear glasses for distance vision, but sometimes doing close-up stuff, they work or they don't work. So here I am taking a thicker paint pen, a Posca paint pen, I believe this one's a 3M, and colouring in some of the shapes, and then I decide that I colour in a whole lot more. So this is about the point that the camera will cut out, and then I'll come back with the finished page. So you get the idea. Draw through the stencil, colour it in. So this is the finished page. I think I went a little overboard with the amount that I put on the page, but I was having fun. And I sort of wanted to fill in some dead space without totally filling in dead space, if that makes sense. So for me, art journaling is all about the journey to make the page, not the destination. So I'm sort of happy with the page. Probably not one of my favourite pages, but it's done. It's a done page in my album. I think I've got 2 more pages in this particular book to finish up, and then it goes on my finish shelf. Thank you very much for watching. I have got some close-up photos at the end for you to have a look at, and let me know what you think. I'm hoping to play a bit more with Collage Soup, and hopefully next time my voiceover works. My audio works and it's not a voiceover and sped up video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.